Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Now, I want to get Gerald Celente's update on this because as soon as he started blowing the whistle, that caused the dam to break. It was the straw that broke the camel's proverbial back. It turned out for almost 2 weeks, going back to early last week, they had known that massive amounts of money were missing from MF Global that had bought up other solvent firms, like the one that Gerald Celente had a multi-decade-long account with. By the way, I've now done research, and we have the head of MF Global and others, including federal regulators at the CFTC, who were invested with MF Global and had to recuse himself, saying that these funds would be guaranteed through a different system, just not FDIC. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. But here's why Gerald Celente joins us. I misspoke at the start of the show. If you just type MF Global into Google and click News, the first two headlines you get are AP and CNN. We'll put these on screen. MF Global missing funds may hit $1.2 billion. Now, that was earlier this morning. Now the trustees come out and said, oops, it's more than $1.2 billion. That's the AP headline. And I see another one here saying it might be as high as $2+ billion of the $6 billion that went into bankruptcy, with the former globalist Goldman Sachs alumni, New Jersey mayor, with the head of the CFTC, invested in it, involved with Corzine, recusing himself a week and a half ago, according to Reuters and Forbes. So but it's not their fault. It's Gerald Celente of TrendsResearch.com and Alex Jones of Infowars.com. It's our fault. Aaron Dykes is riding shotgun in the studio. He'll be popping in. We've got Gerald till 5 after, and then he's leaving. And then Governor Jesse Ventura is joining us, then Max Kaiser. Going to Gerald Celente. Gerald, it's now above $1.2 billion, and they're telling, now they're talking about more than 50,000 customers. It was 33,000. You're not going to get anything. And they're now saying, we thought J.P. Morgan had the money, but now we're just going to say it disappeared into the Easter Bunny patch. Gerald, this is all our fault. Didn't you hear?
Yeah, I get a kick out of these people. They say, I should have been smarter. Yeah, I should have been smarter. It's like walking down the street and somebody blowing your brains out from behind. You know, if Jesse James did this, it would be robbery. But when John Corzine does it, oh, it was just a mistake. How come this guy isn't being even brought in for questioning? I just heard Senator Roberts over there saying that it looks like illegal behavior is behind this. How come he isn't being brought up? Where's the perp walk? As I said before, the press is really easy to judge people, prejudge them in the media. You don't even hear Corzine's name come up anymore. We sent out that press release, Alex, that you have about CME Group, where they said that they guarantee the funds and that nobody's ever lost a penny. It went out to over 45,000 people in the media. None of the major prostitutes will touch it. And then I got this letter from this guy, this little worm of a man. I use the word man loosely. His name happens to be Jeffrey M. Christian, not to confuse him with Jeffrey Zero Christian. And here's what he says about me in talking to people like you, that I'm ignorant, I'm stupid, and I'm delusional and self-delusional, and that Corzine has not done a perp walk because he has not been alleged to have done anything illegal, only incredibly stupid. Hey, Worm Christian, if you listen, you're incredibly stupid. And if you want to talk to me like that face-to-face, come on over and let's have a visit. Because here's the facts, you little worm. Corzine, it is allegedly has done something that is more than just incredibly stupid. He has broken the cardinal rule. You don't go into a customer's private account to go do the firm's gambling. You get it? It's as simple as that. This is robbery, and no one is calling him out. Maybe Corzine has, he just held a $35,000 a plate dinner for Obama, a fundraiser. Maybe he's not showing up because he's preparing a Thanksgiving dinner for us. So we'll all get a little more turkey to eat.
Gerald.
This little twerp going on and on and on. And here, you'll love this one, Alex. This is a beauty. When anyone stops talking about the trilateral, when a man like him, meaning me, calls others sheeple and speaks of the Trilateral Commission and the Bilderberg Group, I know I can stop listening. Oh, by the way, this little weenie worm guy, Christian, the CPM group, they said gold wasn't going to go up this year. Yeah, that's right. He's so brilliant. No Trilateral Commission, no Bilderberg. Hey, jerk. Even go on Wikipedia, look up the names that I was talking about. Draghi, the new head of the European Central Bank. Mario Three-Card Monti, the new head over there in Italy. Papademos, over there in Greece. All members of the Trilateral Commission. One Draghi is a chief cat with the Bilderberg. It's right there. This is a conspiracy. This is guys like him that are probably CIA agents that are trying to shut us up.
This is important. Here is CNN. More than $1.2 billion in customer funds might be missing from bankrupt broker MF Global. Now, this is going on 3 weeks now. Nearly twice previous estimates of the shortfall. The trustee administering the firm's bankruptcy said Monday, and that's who they're saying has the accounts. MF Global was forced to file for bankruptcy last month after it disclosed $6.3 billion in exposure to troubled sovereign debt from weak European countries, sparking panic among investors. So, of course, they have to spin Gerald and myself and others pointing this out as if somehow we're bad. It's true. All of these major bank heads, all of these finance ministers, all of these prime ministers, presidents, they're all financed or are actual Goldman Sachs operatives. Even Time Magazine last week said it's a global coup, a coup in Europe by Goldman Sachs, government by banksters, for banksters. But again, now here we are 3 weeks later, going back a week and a half ago, even, and we showed these on air, even Reuters and Forbes and others had CFTC acting ahead over this investigation because the head is invested in it, so had to say, I'm recused, saying this appears to be illegal and something's nefarious. But now the media just says, well, I guess it's more than $700 million. It's more than $1 billion. It's $1.2 billion. It's more than $1.2 billion. And they admit that it's destabilizing the whole market. You have over $1.2 billion or whatever it really is. They won't deliver people's money when we're talking about a $800 trillion group in the press release by the CME group that you just mentioned. Of course, they've got to turn it around and have Forbes come out and imply we're the bad guys. Folks, no one's bank account is safe. They've already stolen most of your pension funds. They've already invested those in derivatives. Your 401ks, it's all admitted. Your Social Security, it was spent decades ago. And here, everything is falling apart. We've been in a depression for years. They keep lying to us. But going back, Gerald, because I don't want to spend too much time on this guy, who is this person you're quoting that was making those asinine statements? Because over some years it's 60, some years it's over 70 of the 125 people, 130 or so that are at Bilderberg are Goldman Sachs. I mean, no one denies now, from the Financial Times of London to Time Magazine, that it's a global government of, for, and by the banksters. So I don't want to spend all day on this guy because he's not worth the time. Is this some analyst that attacked you? Who is this person?
This guy's the head of the CPM group. They're a trading group. What I'm trying to say, Alex, is they're going to start barraging us with negative news to try to discredit us. When in the meantime, Corzine, where's Corzine? Where is this guy? He's not even, look, as I said, you know, when Dominique Strauss-Kahn was accused of allegedly false, you know, having sex with a maid, boy, the press jumped on that one all over the place, gave him a perp walk.
That's how you know it was staged.
Yeah, and yeah, now where is Corzine? How come he's not showing up? So the reason I'm bringing this up, when you mentioned about Forbes, try this one on, everybody. Go to Forbes, 2009. They made fun of me then. One of my assistants at the time cashed out her 401k and bought gold at $700 an ounce. They said she was overreacting. Gold is at $1,700 an ounce now. What an overreaction, and not even a retraction. They're going to do everything they can do now to try to discredit us because the whole system is going down, and they misquoted me in there.
It's not really a correction. You may not have read the Forbes article. He actually admits that you were right about that, and so they must be listening and said, well, it's a weird article. I mean, they're kind of framing us for any problems that may come, but then they also admit that you've been right and that I've been right. So you might want to go see that article. I know you've made a point out of that, but they say that she did it at 900 and that it basically doubled. But I remember it was 700, so it's more than doubled. Now,
but Alex, I want to follow up on this because it's very important. They misquoted me, and I'm saying this, and the reason I'm going so public with this is that the entire global financial system is melting down. What's the stocks doing over in Europe? What are they doing in the United States? They can't solve these problems. I said, if your money's with Schwab, if it's with Raymond James, I don't care who it's with, Smith Barney, if this thing collapses, you're going to get shafted. Oh, they're going to tell you that you have insurance, just like the CME said that ours was guaranteed. Yeah, it'll be guaranteed, and you know when you'll get it? I guarantee you'll get it after you're dead, because that's how long it's going to take. And if you get your money before then, it's going to be devalued into nothing.
And they're going to say it's your fault for being in a pension or a stock market, just like his sequestered account, segregated account under law that was his was taken. They're going to say it's your fault. When you complain, they're going to say you caused the market to fall. Now, Gerald, I want to get into where you're going with this, but I think now it's confirmed. As you said, as I said last week, this is way bigger than $700 million. It's way bigger than $1.2 billion. They're now admitting. And this is about physical delivery, as Max Kaiser predicted. They could not deliver the gold to people that had won it in the open market, and so they simply defaulted. And instead of even paying you in cash, they just said, you know what? That's the way it is. And then now it's kind of creepy to have the biggest derivatives kingpins. I've forgotten who that guy is actually attacking you, and to have Forbes coming after us, we must have really hit a nerve. How dare
we hit a nerve, Alex. The CME group, the group over there where that guy Duffy says that they guarantee everything, they've lost over $2.5 billion in equity share since this thing happens. I'd like to see it go down to zero. CME. Maybe it's the Chicago Mafia enterprise. Where is the money, Duffy, that you said you were going to guarantee? How come the prostitutes aren't calling them out on this? And I'll tell you why. Because maybe they don't have the money. And here's a scenario. I'm going to give you a scoop. We're saving this for the top trends of 2011, but I'm letting you know this because of all the listeners there that are faithful to your show and want to know what's going to happen before it happens. You go back, Alex, to when Obama was elected. I said, prepare for a bank holiday. What happened is I'm doing research in the Corzine thing. There it pops up with Joe Biden. You remember he was he was senator from that state of loophole state over there in Delaware that gives all these corporations a free ride before he became vice president?